Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Damn Parenting, your English-speaking parenting podcast from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. As always, we are your hosts, Eva and
Maren. Hi.
On today's DamChats, we're going to discuss, something that's kind of been brought up by my therapist in a recent session I was having. I don't know how to go to bed. I mean, simply as that. Like, I can't tell you any other way. I was having a chat with him about how I'm exhausted. My daughter's waking up in the middle of the night and I can't get back to sleep and I'm getting run down. And he just simply asked, well, how do you go to bed? And I kind of thought, okay, I put my daughter to bed. I come out. What dishes need to be done? What toys need to be put away? What books need to be put away? What do I need to clean up? What laundry is there to put away? Whatever there needs to be done. Okay, once that's done, now I sit down with the iPad on one side, the laptop on my lap, and the phone on the other side. And I'm working on whatever needs to be done, be it, I don't know, buying something or searching for something or planning a trip or I don't know what it could be. And
you know what just popped into my head? This meme of this cat when you type in busy and then you have this cat who just...
That's more or less me, yes, with glasses on.
On her computer. This is you just with another iPad. And
then the iPad is like, I don't know, it's got some, I don't know, Netflix or I don't know what's going on that side. And my phone might be having messages coming in. And then it's a case of, I look at the time, my cat's standing there screaming at me for an hour. And then I realize, oh, it's 11:30. I got to go to bed, shut down everything, go brush my teeth, get into PJs, climb into bed. And then I can't sleep. Simply put.
I'm not surprised when you tell me what the overload stimulation is when you have your iPad running with a show, your laptop open, your cat there, all the shenanigan that's going around you. Yeah.
So and then my daughter's waking up at 4:00, and unfortunately, my brain is one of those brains that once you wake me up, I can't go back to sleep. It's just like a computer, it just turns on. And unfortunately, this one takes a long time to boot up and a long time to boot down. But one thing that the therapist did mention was it's my choice when I go to bed, but it's not my choice when I wake up because that's going to be down to my child usually, unless my alarm obviously is set, obviously, because we have to get up every morning at some time. But obviously, being children, some kids are up at like 5:30 or 6 or 6:30 or 7 or later if you're lucky. So yeah, I've spoken to a few people now and we're all kind of trapped in this where in the evening, that's our time to be productive sometimes, because during the daytime, we're so caught up with taking care of our kids and just getting the house going and just survive until the end of the day. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, this is my time.
Yeah, I used to be the same where it was, I really piled up everything for those hours where it's like, okay, bedtime, and then I have whatever couple hours to do stuff. But I realized, where's my wind down time? And it was also like, it was busy. Okay, fuck, 11:30, shut everything down, go to bed, sleep. But then you don't sleep because then your body, like, or at least my body and my mind needs somewhat of a time to wind down. And then it became this whole self-punishment procrastination where I was just staying up for past midnight because I wanted this time for me. I wanted this 30 minutes to scroll, this 30 minutes to like just be. And then I was looking at the clock at the same time and I thought, what are you doing? Like you're just punishing yourself because you get less and less and less. And then I also had to, every time I put my alarm on it, it says how many hours and until it rings.
Oh God.
And I was like, oh my God, how is this ever how am I ever gonna catch up? But one crucial thing that I started changing was that every time I had a chore to do where my daughter could be somewhat involved, I just made it the activity then. So one simple example is the laundry. I stopped doing the laundry at night because I said, I can do this with her. She can help me. She can be on the bed while I do the laundry. And also I thought, she needs to learn all the skills. She needs to learn how to fold a shirt. She needs to do all that because God knows I know enough adults who cannot make a bed, who don't know how to fold a shirt.
Can I just point out though, for those of us who have to hang our clothes out to dry outside, because I don't always like leaving it in the dryer, it gets wet because of our, our rain situation. So that's why it takes a bit longer for us to dry.
But yeah, so that was these things where I thought, okay, how is there anything that is my task that I have to do, but she can be with me and she can be a part of this. And then that relaxed a little bit the evenings. And also, just breaking it down again into chunks or doing stuff while they're like really making an effort. When I cook, I try to really clean on the go and not pile everything up because I know then it's a pile that I have to get rid of. So really structuring these things, doing everything on the go while you're working with the things, putting them away, or equally then telling the child, oh, let's clean up now. Let's clean up at least this corner before we go to bed. So really involve my child as much as possible in these things to not feel this load is all on me, and also to shovel a little bit of time for myself free. And also recognizing that although I am working mostly from home, I do now also work outside. I have like a paid job, but it's the reality for a lot of us who are taking care of the children, taking care of the household, where we never have an ending. So we never have like, now my work day is over. And I had to put this also in place where I say, my work day is over now. I got up at whatever, 7:30. It is 8 now. I worked for 12 hours and now I'm done. It's done. I had to put this in and really tell myself that this is my job, this is my work, and everyone gets to have
time off.
Stop working. Yeah, time off. Exactly. Yeah. And this is so hard when you are at home, and then when you are in this mindset of, oh, I'm just home. I'm just putting this in big fat air quotations, doing all the stuff, and I'm not making any money. And what is my time worth? What is my work worth? And then maybe you have a partner who also doesn't know what your work is worth because what's this little household stuff to do, So really shifting that mindset for myself and say, I'm done now. I've cooked dinner. I'm not cleaning the dishes. That's my partner's work then. Or I'm not doing this. This is my partner's work now. Because the household is not just something that one person should do, because everyone has a household. Even if you weren't in your partner's life, they would have to do this after their work day. So the 3 steps that I did was seeing, how can I involve my child? How can I make this an activity for both of us? Involving my partner in the things that he can handle after his work day, and putting a stop to my work day and saying, I'm done now. And everything that doesn't get done is for tomorrow. And then, because also when you're working in a corporate job and you have an email that you can't answer, then you answer it tomorrow. If the laundry isn't done, you do it tomorrow. If the dishes are not done, you put them in the sink and you do it. There's always mostly a time to do it another time, and realizing that.
So one of the things you just said there, and I just quickly Googled, was you're like, your partner will know their salary, but there's no like price basically. So back in 2022, salary.com actually made the annual mom salary survey, and it's estimated at $162,581 per year, which is roughly around 150,000 euros a year, which is definitely not getting contributed to us. We are grateful for the Dutch government with some subsidies, the kinderopvangtoeslag and the other ones that come with us, and having free schools. But at the same time, we're not exactly getting people coming in, cleaning, doing our shopping, everything else that goes along with it.
But I mean, that's what I also did when I stopped working in a paid job for the first time. I sat down, I said, well, this was my hourly rate, which was not horrendous. Like, I had a good rate, but I wasn't working in finance. I wasn't making $300 per hour. I'd say medium salary for an hour. And I just calculated, all right, I'm up for my workday starts at whenever that was, when my daughter was very little, breastfeeding. 5, she wakes up. So this is when my day starts. And then I calculated how much break do I have in between, like my lunch break or whatever. I came to the conclusion that I would make a lot of money per month if I would get paid for the work I'm doing. And I said, well, this is the free work that I'm doing. And this is I'm not getting paid for this. And this is the division that we have in my household. But then just for yourself, just realizing how many hours you spend and what it used to be worth in money, in salary, putting that in perspective for yourself.
And when to, put a limit and say, okay, my day's over. And then,
so exactly.
The other thing I found here is the Sleep Foundation. They've got a list of how to basically prepare yourself to go to bed. Like, what's your sleep hygiene, I guess, is how it's going to be called. So obviously we're going to know a couple of these, but let's see what you think. So decide on a set bedtime. Yes or no?
Somewhat. Yeah. Try to have it. I have to say, though, it got pushed back and back and back. I used to say we need to be in bed by 11, but that has shifted now to 11:30. But now my rule is latest at midnight, I have to put my phone away. I have to put the lights out.
So my hour is 10 actually, and I just don't adhere to it, like truthfully, because it's one of those things. I've had different friends tell me different times, like once my kids are asleep, I go to sleep, or 9 o'clock is my time, or 10 o'clock is my time, and I never really thought about it. They say here, you schedule a time to begin your bedtime routine every night, anywhere between 30 minutes to 2 hours before that bedtime. So you have to set your reminder. So the rest of the things now I'm going to call out are basically what you're going to do. It just depends on your need. So put away electronics, turn off that TV, put away the iPad, put away everything. So yeah, so this is something we all know. It's about the blue light that floods the system. It changes our circadian rhythm. You know, the melatonin production is being suppressed. So all of this is pretty much known by everyone. And that's why they talk about reading books or journaling, because then you have a nice soft light, not a big light. You know, what is it? 2,700 watts or something it is for a low light, you know, for nice reading. The next they have here a light snack or bedtime tea. Now, I don't know about the rest of everyone, but I mean, like reflux and toilet is not on my list of things I want to do in the middle of the night. So that's a no.
No, I definitely don't have that. No. And also for me, bedtime is when I like brush my teeth and then this is done. Like there's nothing, I have to go to bed then.
Yes. But this is on the build up. So they're kind of saying you do this first. Like, so this could be 2 hours before you're going to bed. But still, I'm like 2 hours before you go to bed. Okay, I guess it depends on if you're going to watch something. I might maybe have a cup of tea and a snack, but I try not to.
I always have a snack, but that's considered for me. It's like
that's not bedtime routine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing I find strange here. The next is, okay, and this is a luxury for anyone in the Netherlands. Take a warm bath.
Yeah, no.
I don't think that's possible. One, every day. Two, all I'm thinking of is the heating bill and the water bill straight off on this one. And I like to be in a water bath, like with water really high up, not just like up to touching the bottom of my knees. So it says here, scientists have found that mimicking a nighttime drop in body temperature via the warm bath can trigger a similarly sleepy reaction, which I totally can understand. So that's why it says consider doing this an hour before you go to sleep. Your body will heat up from the water and cool down quickly as the water evaporates, thus creating the sensation that makes you feel more tired and more relaxed.
Yeah, again, I get it, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. I know some people here have those buckets in their showers that they take their baths in. And I just don't see that can be a very comfortable thing to do.
I'm just thinking of like, I want to fill my hours before I go to, it would be a waste of time for me, kind of.
When do you take baths?
In the afternoon on the weekends when no one's in the house. Yeah. Like, and also, but the thing is, and I think this is all the things that you just said is, I want to also spend time with my husband, you know. So when I'm in the bath, so we don't see each other the whole day. We see each other in the morning, and he goes off to work. I go off to work. He comes home at night. We have dinner, but then it's not like we sit down and have a romantic dinner together, but because there is a child present, so it's usually we take 30 minutes to finish one sentence with each other. And then it's really when the child is in bed, then we get to spend the time together. And it's not that I'm saying we spend so much high quality time spending time together, meaning we watch Below Decks and the Kardashians together.
Oh, good Lord. Are you are you putting that out there on air right now?
Yes, I am. My guilty pleasure. Hey You is my guilty pleasure. And any other streaming service that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so would be a waste of, I think my husband would be offended if I would say, oh, I'm going to go upstairs and take a bath now. And
once a week? Would that be okay?
Maybe. Yeah. But he would be like, why? Why don't you want to spend time with me sitting next to me on the couch scrolling on your phone while I'll scroll on my phone?
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So he can come and scroll beside you in the bath. What about that?
Yeah. I don't know. But the bath time really is, but I guess also like this big thing where then it's this long process. You have to get the water in, you have to get yourself comfortable, and then I'm lying in the bath and I'm like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? And then, yeah. So, but I understand why people would do it. It's just nothing I would do.
My problem with that is I would love to have a bath. I would love to then slink off into the bed and go to sleep. But honestly, all I'm thinking about is I've got to clean the bath.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to unplug it and clean it.
Yeah, I have to dry the floor. I have to then still brush my... It's like this whole thing after it where I would be like, oh,
can I leave it till the morning? I don't know. I might forget.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might need to get
Anyway.
sticky notes made up of don't forget to do the bath. Anyway, next thing on the list is listen to music, as music can be a powerful relaxation tool and the genre is not important as long as it's calming you. There's other kinds of audio, obviously, like the ambient sounds or like white and pink noise. Pink noise are rain or waves. It's been shown to improve sleep quality, and white noise, which everyone is familiar with because of our babies, it helps you fall asleep faster by masking other sounds.
I do listen to podcasts. Do
you know what? I only found that setting where it says turn off my phone like after 30 minutes. So you're listening to your podcast and then your phone will shut down. I didn't have that prior. Yeah, I didn't have that prior, and I would wake up, my phone's dead because it just kept on playing. Okay. Yeah.
I also do listen to music. Well, I have to say I mostly listen to music then when I do it for work then. When I need to do new playlists for my work and when I need to do that. So that's when but I can dive into like a 2-hour Spotify hole. That's possible. Yeah.
There's been times where I've actually set up a podcast and I was like, this guy has got an amazing voice. I'm going to fall asleep to it. This is wonderful. But it becomes so goddamn interesting that I just wake up going, oh, and then what happened? Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of a hit and miss for me. Next on the list is stretch, breathe, and relax. Relaxation techniques like deep breathing exercises or progressive muscle relaxation can help release physical and mental tension by turning the focus towards your body and mindfully relaxing. So they gave the example like yoga routine, the yoga routine, a daily one, has been shown to improve sleep quality, and a few simple stretches or a massage can help prevent cramping. Yeah, I don't think of that stuff. I do breathing, but that's because that's automatic. So I don't think, stretching, no. Relaxing, no.
Yeah, I mean, I could do it in front of the TV with my husband there. But the thing that he sometimes does now, and this is when also my bedtime routine has changed a little bit, that he, depending on who my daughter wants to do bedtime with, he wants us to sit with her until she falls asleep. So when I do that, I sit there, I listen to a podcast, or I edit some stuff for our podcast, or I'm just like working on my phone, and then usually after 10 minutes she's asleep. But her dad has started this routine where he then lies down with her or on the floor, and then he just falls asleep. And sometimes I'm lucky and he gets back up, but then sometimes he just goes to bed, and then I just wake him up when I go to bed and he goes up. So I'm then alone, and I started then doing a little of these things that you just mentioned, like stretching and listening to music and doing something where I connect with myself. I started doing that when I hear the snoring from upstairs, and I'm like, all right, I don't need to wake him up now. He's just gonna sleep. It's fine. And then I just use the time for myself, and I can watch all my true crime, murder mysteries.
Those really relaxing TV shows we're not meant to be watching. I don't know when else you're meant to watch that. Like, let's be real. You're not going to watch it like during, I don't know, one of those trampoline parks where your kid goes off trampolining maybe. So next up is practice meditation. So meditation is obviously going to help improve your sleep because it really is meant to about accepting the thoughts and manage your emotions, and therefore giving your mind a more peaceful moment to help sleep onset, I guess. I don't know. I'm too busy in my head. I really struggle at meditation, and I've been trying it since 2010.
Yeah, for me, it's also that I think you have to find your own way of meditating first, but also what does meditation really mean for you? So I also struggled with this whole thing of I'm not allowed to think about anything, and I'm just in like this typical thing that you have, or at least I have in my head when I think about meditating, but I just reframed it for myself, and meditation just means for me really being in contact with myself and observing my feelings and really connecting with that. And this is meditation basically for me means a check-in with my feelings, because this is the thing that I struggle most with during the day. I try to not, sounds very weird, but not to feel too deep into the feelings, because then you get caught up with it. Like, especially when you're with your child and then you get angry or upset or this or that, and then you have all these feelings, and then you push them away, or you breathe and you practice patience and all that. But these feelings, they're there. They need to be processed. And that's when the time that I take when my husband is doing the bedtime, or even if I'm then there sitting there and waiting for her to fall asleep, is then I try to revisit those moments in the day and really be like, give my system chance to work through those feelings again and really breathe them away and be in contact and recognizing them. And that has helped me a lot with addressing them when they're in the day occurring, because I know that I can have this 10 minutes or 15 minutes later to revisit them. So I can put them away quicker and I can put a lid on it for now. Yeah. So this is something that how I meditate. I don't know, you wouldn't call it meditation, but like for me, it's just getting in contact with myself and with the feelings. And this is how I then, practice this self-awareness, I guess, is what I call meditation, because this meditation with how you hear it in these apps where like you breathe in and you walk through the forest and you have this and that, like these typical things that you hear when you hear about meditation, that just didn't work for me. However, I thought, okay, what can what's like the main purpose? I mean, the main purpose is to spend time with yourself and to connect. And then I thought, this is how I can practice this for myself.
Yeah, I guess I should be doing it more, but the one connection I have with mindfulness is the meditation is the body scan. So, and that's my way to kind of link back physically with my body and just to lie in bed and then be like, how am I feeling? But I don't find that helps me go to sleep. But it is just a case of checking in to see if there's anything in my body feeling that. Yeah. But it's a reminder, that you have to do it.
And also what I want to say on that note is that when you do the body scan, it is a difference if you just acknowledge something or if you try then to solve it, because this is what I have in my previous work heard from my clients when I talked with them about the body scan, where they felt like, yeah, but then I know this and then I have to work and then I have to like get this tension out. I'm like, no, the body scan is mostly about the awareness that it's there and you recognize it and then you move on and then you have addressed it and recognize it. And if you have the energy to solve it, great. But the first step is the recognition of the tension. Oh, I didn't know that my jaw was the whole time clenched and this is where the tension sits. So just no judgmental body scan, what I would say. Because then one thing that I felt was when you do the body scan and then you feel all this tension, you're like, oh my God, why am I doing this? And then you go into this whole spiral of, can I just relax? What's wrong with me? Why do I think, no, that's not the purpose of the body scan, to rail yourself up then, but really just recognize it and let it be. And I think this is the biggest practice, this whole practice of existing and being.
Yeah. Next up is read a good book. So reading is obviously quite common for a lot of people, and especially for children, because that's usually how we're actually putting them to bed. And it's promoting a healthy sleep as well into adulthood for our kids. So it says here that you get a book with a plot that is simple or uneventful. What's the point? So it says here that it's about making sure that your body unwinds, your mind is not triggered, your body then starts to then get into a tired sign and then get its own signals to then go to sleep. But yeah, I'm not sure on that one, because any books that I want to read are quite usually, suspenseful, murder, crime.
Mine are also. But this is I love to read those because this is when I don't have to learn anything, because that was also the big thing that I had to learn. I'm not going to read the Montessori toddler before I go to bed because I want to read it to know and get knowledge and remember things. So I'm not reading anything that is educational in what form it might be educational for you. But I really only read novels and fiction when I read at bedtime. I really like reading when I'm strong enough to pick the book instead of the phone, and when I can manage. I really notice how much I enjoy reading it and how I enjoy getting into the story, and how I also want to. And this is one thing now that we talk about. When I have a good book, I cannot wait to get to bed, because then I know, oh, now I can sit and read and continue with my book. So that has helped me also getting something that gets you into bed.
Okay. And then obviously after reading a book, then it's going to come down to, if you're reading or not reading, write down a to-do list or a journal. So most people will have a lot of things going on in their head, and what's the best thing to do is just to write it down, get your thoughts out onto paper so that you can deal with them tomorrow, more or less. The idea of journaling can be overwhelming. So therefore the to-do list can really help other people. And they said one study finds that taking 5 minutes before bed to jot down a quick to-do list of tasks that need to be done in the following days can significantly speed up sleep.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I started always having a pen and piece of paper next to my bed because I also found that very relaxing, especially when you're sitting there and then your brain has the time to wind down, and then, oh, I gotta remember that. Oh, I gotta remember that. And then I can just quickly write it down and have it ready.
So finally, it's prepare your bedroom. So things are, your bedroom is basically your sleep oasis. You spend at least 1/3 of your life in your bed. You need to keep it cool and dark and quiet as possible. It says here the thermostat should be around, it says 65 to 68, which I think is around 15 degrees Celsius. Obviously,
That's not how I sleep.
I know. Look, I mean, I do like a cold bedroom, I'm not going to lie. No electronics, dim the lights, make sure you have the correct lighting actually in your bedroom. Put away things, remove clutter because that's a visual pollution as well. And then maybe you want aromatherapy or something that might be actually helpful for you. And then obviously you should have nice sheets. You should have good quality sheets and a duvet and a bed as well. Please note some beds need to be changed or mattresses, should I say, need to be changed 8 years to 10 years. So always keep note of that. And a good note, which I actually only learned recently, was toddler beds are actually meant to be replaced around 5 to 6 years. Mm-hmm. I was not aware. Actually, some of them could even be a little less. So with your toddler bed, just check what brand you have and just check what recommendation they have. But yes, I did not know that. And I learned that because I was like, oh yeah, it'll last for another 8 years. And they said, no, this one doesn't. You need to replace it sooner. Yeah. So those are kind of the preparing your bedroom. But what I wanted to call out here was something that I actually thought was quite poignant. This is by Dr. David Rosen, the sleep medicine physician from Sleep Foundation. And it says, sometimes my patients will tell me my guidance about bedtime routine is not telling them anything new. I always respond by stressing there is a difference between understanding a concept and internalizing it as part of your behavior. We all understand exercise is important, but that does not negate how hard it is to establish and maintain a habit of exercising regularly. And I think that's actually a reminder to me, to be honest. I'm hoping I'm going to take something out of this episode myself, because as I said, I have spoken to my own therapist about the fact that I'm so exhausted and the fact that I'm really struggling. Yeah, just those words of, it's your choice when you go to bed. It's not going to be your choice when you wake up. I think that was a big trigger.
Yeah. And just like you said, habits need to be repeated, like the 4 stages of learning. It needs to get from the conscious ability to the unconscious ability. So you do it because it's engraved in you and forming a habit. And what has helped me with getting into exercising was at the beginning, really make it, this is a non-negotiable in my day, full stop. It's an appointment. So be very rigid in the beginning. When you establish new patterns, new habits, you have to be rigid. You have to do it, because if you don't, then it's not ever going to be formed into a habit. So really, if you say, I want to put my bedtime earlier, you have to set yourself an alarm clock, and at 10:30, you have to do it. It's a non-negotiable. And when you have overcome this painful period of, fuck, this is the alarm going off, and then resisting the urge to, oh yeah, whatever,
I'm an adult. Tomorrow. I don't have to go to bed.
I know, right? Like, this is also, I think this is sometimes our rebellious self. Then it's like, I can stand up and I have this control over my bedtime at least. And if I don't have the control when I get up, at least I have the control when I go into bed. But that we're only hurting ourselves with this.
Yeah. And it's that whole thing of my day is not my day. My evening's my only time. And so I want to have it. Yeah. But leading on from something you just said there, Dr. David Rosen again mentioned, when evaluating sleep habits, the challenge becomes figuring out how to break the bad habit and having a plan in place if you falter. So that plan must include forgiving yourself. So if you have the slip-ups, which you will have, make sure you only start with 1 or 2 routine changes at a time and take your time.
Yeah. Really start one thing, make it a habit, start the next thing, make it a habit, and also be creative with it, I guess, and really think what works for you, what works for your lifestyle, and what are things that you can implement in other parts of your life or in other times of the day. But yeah, find the inspiration with whatever we said and our experiences and make it your own and see what works for you in your life situation, I guess.
So what one are you going to take into account here?
I guess really this whole like checking in with myself more and this whole meditating. And I also want to start journaling, like 1 sentence. I just want to write down 1 sentence, maybe something I heard, maybe something I learned that day, or maybe something that I wanted to remind myself, just 1 sentence that I can write down. And also I really want to limit the phone time, because I said this earlier. I came across this sentence where someone said that our phones are our pacifier pacifiers, and we regulate our emotions and everything and stress and overwhelmness by doom scrolling, which then doesn't really serve the purpose of calming yourself down, but it's like this quick fix of give your brain something to do and distract your brain and your emotions for a little second. So this is something that I really want to stop doing. Also in the morning, not the first thing is put out the alarm clock, open up my email, open up my Instagram. It's just 30 seconds, but it's those 30 seconds that already
how you're starting your day.
Yeah. So this is something that I have on my agenda really for this year, eliminating the phone time in the bedroom, getting back to connection with myself, reading a book, journaling, like these things that I know will improve my mental health and will improve my bedtime routine, but it's hard.
I think for me, my greatest takeaway was have the snack. I know, I'm only joking. No, I think, yeah.
I know.
No, I think like the biggest struggle is setting the time and putting away the electronics, definitely. But yes, I really like during the COVID period, there was no phones allowed in our bedrooms. We were like, no, let's just try that. And it was no problem. But it's exactly what you say. They're now our pacifiers, and with children and work and everything else, we get so tired that becomes our doom scrolling. So I think I need to really check back into the whole body scan and doing it every night. And maybe I'm actually just going to look at the stretching and breathing part as well and just be saying, okay, because I have to stretch in the morning because of my back. So it's like at nighttime then, why not? I'm not going to be able to read a book right now, but I mean, the journaling is one thing I have, which I guess maybe doing it every night mightn't be a bad idea. And I in fairness, my to-do lists, that probably should also be an extra thing that I can kind of like, hey, instead of having them on 64 post-it notes all around the whole apartment, it's like, oh no, let's condense it into one. So this has been our talk therapy about something that I think I feel everyone struggles with, because when weather changes, new jobs or moving or whatever else is going on with people, our sleep is the most paramount thing that we have control over. I think, in essence. And so make sure you get good quality bed sheets, make sure you get a good pillow, make sure you replace your mattress if it's older than 10 years old. Don't kid yourself, get yourself out there and get a proper mattress and, treat yourself. Yeah. Maren zoning away there thinking, oh yes, bedtime.
When can I go to bed? I have an amazing bed, so I cannot wait to get in bed.
Well, we just bought one, so I can't wait to get into that one.
Looking for something to put in your ears while you dozing off, we come out with an episode every Wednesday and every Monday, and we have over 50 episodes out right now. So you can also dive back into our library.
Over 50?
Yeah. How many do we have?
Girl, we're going to have over 90 or 100 by this stage.
Okay. So we have enough for you to listen.
You're not even up to date.
We have enough episodes. So every Wednesday, every Monday, we are coming out with a new episode. And if you want to catch us, make sure that you press the subscribe button on your podcast player, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Damn Parenting Podcast. And if you'd want to drop us a line, do it there. Get in touch with us if you have a topic that we haven't addressed yet, or if you have something that you really want to discuss with us, then drop us a line. And also our Instagram is a wealth of information because we are creating little cheat sheets for every episode, and we put out the information on our account, Damn Parenting Podcast. And also we announce our guests every week there, so you can have a little peek who's going to be on for the expert episode this week. If you want to support us, like, share, and subscribe. Share this episode with your friends, in your WhatsApp group, in your Facebook group. When you hear or see a topic popping up, a question about something where we already have an episode, then make sure you share this with the person asking. This is us for now, and we will hear you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Hey.